at the UFC fight night, and he secured basically everybody's love and affection. Cody Durden, welcome to the show.
What up? How you doing?
We're doing great, man. Thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. No problem. You know, it's the most I can do for you.
Well,
not the least. It's the most you can do.
I have a feeling that you are a much needed man today after that performance over the weekend. I mean, what an incredible submission win. 4 days notice. I mean, we all heard the story. Unreal. Did you expect that phone call? Let's back up and talk about the 4 days notice here. Take a sip.
Yeah, so this is what happened. Monday was Labor Day, and so Sunday, me and my wife went out with some teammates of mine, and I had a little bit too much to drink, and so Monday I laid in bed all day. I was hungover as hell, and then Tuesday I went and sparred 5 rounds, and I left sparring. And I came home and I was eating lunch with my wife, and I saw Matt Schnell's opponent pulled out. So I literally tweeted, I'm here to fight. Teammates, friends, or family, it doesn't matter. Let's make it happen. And I tagged Matt Schnell, Dana White, Mick Maynard, my manager, Ali Abdelaziz. And I said, with all due respect, to Matt Schnell, because I mean I've trained with him before, I've hung out with him and stuff. But yeah, then I got a call from my manager like, "Yo, what's going on? Why is Mick texting me asking me if you want the fight?" I was like, "Well, I put stuff on Twitter," and he was like, "Well, he's offering you the fight." I said, "All right, well, let's push it back." And then he said, "No, we don't. Mick doesn't want to push it back. He wants it this weekend." And I looked at my wife and I was like, "Oh shoot!" And I said, well, "Tell him 135 and tell him I want a new contract. And you know, if he'll do that, I'll fight." And my wife Brittany was like, "Yeah, you don't put your foot in your mouth now."
Out loud on Twitter had to make sure you backed it up, right?
I had a staph infection 2 weeks ago. So I was out for 9 days. And so then I trained for the week before the fight. I trained, and then I trained fight week. And that was all the training I had.
Wow.
So
do you feel confident that you would have had the cardio had he survived that onslaught in the early second round?
I do, actually. I really do. I knew I was starting to feel it a little bit, but I'm a vet. I've been here so many times, you know, and I feel like I had some uncertainty that gave me adrenaline, that gave me anxiety, and that's what was leading to I was getting a little tired, but not much. But like, here's the thing, guys. I had the best training camp against Bruno Silva, 8 weeks in Coconut Creek. No alcohol, no sweets. I mean, everything just went my way. Okay. It went my way so well in training, like, you know, against my training partners. And it was going so good. I just figured it couldn't go wrong. You know, I was dominating the fight, and then I got hit one time. Like, I ducked right into a freaking uppercut after dominating him. And so it just goes to show you, like, just because everything's going right doesn't mean the result's going to go right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And, you know, after that fight, you know, a bad shortcoming like that, I kind of got emotionally, like, messed up, you know. I felt kind of depressed. I still trained every day, but I kind of felt lost. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I training? I don't even know when I'm going to fight. I got 1 fight left on my contract. I'm on a 2-fight losing streak. And it'll mess with your confidence, you know, and it'll, you know, it got me depressed where I was drinking a lot. Like, I was drinking a lot, like, every day, you know? So I just knew that if I stayed positive and made good decisions, that good things will happen. And that's what I did. You know, I took a chance on myself. I bet on myself, and I didn't know if I was ready or not. I had no clue. You know, I didn't have a training camp. I just got drunk 5 days before. So went out there. Had to bet on myself. Had to do it for me, and do it for those kids. Appalachia High School. I trained 15 minutes from that high school, and I got two 13-year-old kids that are texting me on fight week, saying there's a school shooting, we're on lockdown, and that was heavy on my heart because no kid should have to go through that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just all came together even when it wasn't coming together, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Life's crazy. Life's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I would look at my wife. What the fuck are we doing here? What are we doing here? You know what I mean?
I feel you on that for sure. But kind of shooting your shot with this fight, right? It sounds like you were in a rough spot. Did you look at this fight as a way to get out of that dark place and kind of just like, you know what, it's now or never? Or were you able to pull yourself out of that beforehand? Okay, yeah. So this was kind of like a now or never moment for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. 100%.
Do you feel like it paid off? How's your mental state now?
Oh, I'm ready to go. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the best. I can't tell you I'm the best, but I can tell you I want to be the best. I train like it. In fight camps, I'm on point in and out of the cage. No doubt. When I don't have a fight camp, I can't tell you that I'm the best. Because of my actions outside of fight camp. Isn't like I'm just doing all the wrong things. Doing a little bit of wrong things and a lot of right things.
I mean, we're only human, right?
Huh?
We're only human, right?
Exactly. And I think my honesty and my humility, because I don't really talk about it, but I feel like if I do talk about it, it'll be better for me. I've always been the tough guy, the kid that got picked on, the kid that'll punch you in the mouth before you even get to say something else. And I'm 33 years old right now, and I feel like I'm maturing inside the cage, and I feel like I'm maturing outside the cage, and I'm only human.
Yeah, you definitely showed your true colors with, I mean, not only an incredible performance on 4 days notice, but then your speech at the end and dedicating the fight to those kids. I mean, you spoke to so many people in the country that day. Can you talk a little bit about maybe the sensitivity of it or the atmosphere of the town during that week? I mean, it must have been so high stress.
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, Winder, Georgia, Barrow County is country. I mean, that's all it is cow pastures, fields, deer hunting, wildlife. I mean, it's not like a population of 700 people, but for the most part, it's the country. And my coach, Chad Schaefer, the main coach that I always go and train with in his garage, if you ever see me posting pictures, you'll see that he lives in Barrow County, in Winder, Georgia. He lives right down the street from where the shooting happened. His kids' grandparents live across the street from the school. So his kids were across the street from the school when it happened, and his kids are like family to me, And so the school's 30 minutes away from my kid's school. So when it happens so close to home, I mean, when it happens like far away, you're like, man, it sucks. But when it happens so close to home, and just knowing, like, I know people in the community that their kids go there. I know one of the first responders, the EMS ladies that showed up there and helped one of the victims that got shot. I just this morning I went to the Gwinnett County Police Department, and I had to teach some things to the SWAT team, and the SWAT team was responded to the shooting. They were there, a lot of people, and a lot of guys were, and they were talking about it.
Yeah.
So it's just real close to home, and I got kids, and, they didn't want to go to school, and something needs to be done. We need metal detectors. We need the bulletproof doors. We need locks on the doors. Let's just have preventatives, instead of just talking about it.
I mean, we could have a whole podcast on that alone about, what needs to be done, what can be done. It's a wild world out there. I'm just glad that everybody close to you, Cody, is A-okay, and that's great.
100%.
Let's switch gears and talk about the positives here. That was a nasty finish, my guy. That was fun. That was fun to watch. Did you have any idea that Matt Schnell was going to retire that night?
I had no idea. No. I mean, I've trained with Matt Schnell. I trained with him for a week. I flew to Texas. We trained together, but we just trained together for a week, and we're friends, and everything's good. I had to do what I had to do. I had to get a new contract. I knew that if I stepped up on short notice, that I wouldn't have to fight my contract out, that I could get a pay raise and I could get another contract. And so at the end of the day, I got to feed my family, and I ain't going nowhere.
I love it. Elle, yeah. I know you just took a bite, but do you have a question?
I do. I did see Mikhaev was in the comments congratulating you on this win. I saw that pop up on my feed, and obviously you guys fought, trained together for a bit at ATT, had a little bit of beef, I think, at one point, and now he's no longer with the UFC. I've heard some flyweights concerned that they are talking about cutting the division again. I've heard that they, different thoughts on Mikhaev's release. What are your thoughts on that, since you're in that division as well?
No. First of all, they're not cutting the division at all. The division was down in the slumps when you had the GOAT Demetrius Johnson running through everybody, and he wasn't that exciting. I mean, his fighting was exciting, but he didn't draw eyes. He didn't draw attention. He didn't sell pay-per-views, so it was a good trade for Ben Askren. We got one of the best knockouts ever out of it. And I just feel like Mikhaev, there was things behind the scene that we don't know about. We only go off of what we see through technology, through the internet. But, there's things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about that happened with him. And that had a lot to do with his fighting as well. Like, he's mainly a wrestler, which I thought it was, I like wrestlers. I like it. It's exciting, but I mean, we're trying to sell to millions of people, we're trying to get new fans to the sport. We're trying to grow this NFL, soccer in Europe big.
Right.
I
mean, watching football last night, there was a UFC commercial. I was like, oh my gosh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, it's all about the money, and he's going to be back. Like, he's 23 years old. He's going to be back. And so I'll be happy when he does come back. I think Mikhaev's learned from his mistakes, and smart, great fighter. He'll be back.
Nice. So Cody, you secured the performance of the night, $50K. What? Where's that $50K going? Making it rain, baby.
It's going straight to my financial advisor, and I'm investing.
Good man.
Smart man.
Yeah, already. I've been investing since 2013 into mutual funds.
Good for you.
I don't really do Bitcoin. I used to, but I lost so much money on it, so I was like, screw that.
It's rough right now. Crypto.
I got out of it. I sold and counted my losses, but yeah, you can't go wrong investing in the stock market when you have somebody that knows what they're doing, and the low reward, low risk, but low reward. It's kind of for the long run.
term.
Yeah.
Yeah, long term investing, not short term.
Well,
But I will tell you this though, I'm gonna acquire some assets.
Okay.
I buy a new house. I've talked about it.
All
I
right.
know I want to start a gym or buy a gym, so I got the team in place for that, and some investors for that. So yeah, man, I hang out with the Eagles.
A man with a plan. I like it.
Making moves.
Yeah.
Elle, you got anything else?
Oh man, like congrats. Thank you so much for jumping on last minute. I legit messaged Cody like yesterday and was like,
yeah,
dude,
you're the best, man.
You gotta come on. So
I do.
Hey, Elle, you're back to training?
I'm back. When are you coming back to ATT?
Deer season's coming up this weekend. So
I see.
Priority.
I got 3 passions: fishing, hunting, and fighting. And
you and Dakota are just the same.
Exactly, dude. We're just alike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an obsession. It's a passion.
I love it. Well, Cody Durden, congratulations on your latest success. Before I let you go, I do want to leave you with this question. You said yourself you were doing a little partying before we took this fight, so I'm sure a couple of beers were drank. If you were able to share a beer with anyone, alive or dead, who would you love to share a beer with?
I really got a passion for blue faces, so I'm gonna have to go with Benjamin Franklin.
Okay. All right. I'm sure you got plenty of questions you could ask him.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, Cody, thanks again. Come back anytime, and we look forward to seeing you again in the cage soon.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, Cody. Awesome guy. I could talk to him for hours, I think. I had so many more questions. So hopefully we can get